Hello, my friends, and welcome to Truth Bomb, the quick-fire quiz show where I test the best the indie media has to offer on AI's official narrative with a truth bomb or two thrown in. I have convinced some of the best indie researchers, journalists, and hosts on the World Wide Web to compete against each other in a quiz show which will shake the very foundation of mankind. AI sets the official narrative. There will be plenty of occasions for each contestant to throw in a truth bomb to set the record straight and for a chance to win extra points for the answers, but I will be the judge of that. Our contestants today include my good friend Dana DooDah. Dana DooDah, hello.
Hello.
You're one of my favorite researchers on the web. You spend your time fighting the false narrative surrounding, of course, Scientology, the Process Church, the Final Judgement, along with the associated organizations and actors. Tell me, Dana, if I was to pull off a Mission Impossible style latex mask right now, only to reveal that I was really Tom Cruise, would you be surprised?
I would turn off my laptop and probably throw it out the window.
Oh no! I know you've got a habit. You've got a habit of throwing laptops around. I've heard this. There's a sneaky corruption point available to you if you agree to run off with me immediately.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, well done. You've earned the quickest point ever seen on Truth Bomb so far. So you're about to go head to head though against another female demon hunter. In what is essentially Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus Ariana Van Helsing. Who do you more closely resemble? Is it Buffy or Miss Van Helsing?
I haven't seen either, so it's
You
a gamble.
haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No.
You would be the best character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, for sure.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Well, you're no stranger to Truth Bomb or two. You drop them all the time. So can you tell me where did Frodo find the evidence that the elves were Scientologists? You know?
No.
In Elrond's cupboard. There you go. Sorry. I do apologize for that one. I did promise you I would try and make you laugh. Indeed.
That's pretty good.
The delectable Dana will be taking on a real-life Callie, Rachel Wilson. Rachel Wilson, you're the author of Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation, and you're one of the most pragmatic voices on the modern-day feminist scene. Would that be about right?
I'd say that's a good description.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I love that you promote like the healthy balance between men and women and a realistic approach to relationships and embraces female and male traits alike. You could a definite corruption point here by saying just now that men are the best while women are or mostly stinky on the whole.
You want me to say that? Or
Yeah. You'll get a point. You see, this show, you sell yourself out at times. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I would say men are definitely the best and women are icky.
That's good. You're getting it. Okay. Seeing as you're married and I'm already going to run off with Dana, do you think that you'll be able to swim through the sea of corruption that I've set for you today?
I will give it my best shot.
Oh, you're awesome. Have you ever considered carrying holy water and a stake in case Gloria Steinem comes to drink your blood during the twilight hours? Is this something that you thought of?
I have thought of it, and I thought on my next appearance on the Whatever podcast, I would bring a little squirt gun filled with holy water, and then whenever, the ladies say something awful or that I don't like, I just...
That sounds dangerous. I have to say... Well, that would be dangerous on that show. Now, so be careful of this. This might be a tongue twister. Which witch would you wish a house upon by using wind alone? The Wicked Witch of the West or Gloria Steinem?
Oh, definitely Gloria Steinem. But can I pick a different one?
Yeah, go on then.
I would have picked Matilda Joslyn Gage, who was L. Frank Baum's mother-in-law.
Wow,
yeah.
You might have to explain a bit more. But it was originally a trick question because the Wicked Witch of the West is actually Gloria Steinem.
Of course.
So there you go. But still, anyway, who is that person that you're having a house fall on?
Yeah, so L. Frank Baum, the author of the Wizard of Oz books, his mother-in-law was Matilda Joslyn Gage. She was a first-wave suffragette, and she wrote a book called Woman, Church, and State, where she outlined an extremely anti-Christian, anti-patriarchy view that she had. And she was also one of the editors on Elizabeth Cady Stanton's Woman's Bible, which was a heretical rewriting of the Bible from a woman's point of view, basically, or like at least a commentary on it.
That's amazing. Okay, you get a point. You get a point there for a little bonus point. So let's get on with this game. Okay, true or false round, Dana. You can pick between the Profumo affair, modern witchcraft, Charles Manson, I don't know who he is, feminism, Crawl Inc., crawl, crawl, crawl. Everybody's chanting crawl, really. Or the Atlanta child murders.
I get to pick?
Yeah.
Let's just go with Atlanta child murders.
Okay. Okay, Dana, here we go. 18 true or false questions on the Atlanta child murders. And I know this isn't your preferred subject, but I find you brave for taking it on because I know it's a local subject, isn't it, really?
Local and very near and dear to my heart.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's go. Question number 1. The Atlanta child, remember true or false? The Atlanta child murders occurred between 1979 and 1981.
True.
True, yes. Killings, definitely, they spanned from July 1979 to May 1981. If you want to add in anything at all that you think may be related, then feel free to, of course.
So what do I say? Truth bomb?
Yeah, truth bomb, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so then at a truth bomb, the deaths didn't stop. They continued through the 80s after Wayne Williams was arrested.
Oh, that's amazing, Truth Bomb there. Okay. This is the type of thing we want on Truth Bomb. I love it. Okay, next question. All victims of the Atlanta child murders were children under 12 years old.
False.
Ah, good. Okay, go on. Do you want to add anything to that?
Wait, well, I mean, it is a truth bomb. There were adults. Wayne Williams was convicted of killing 2 adults, not any children.
Can you get close to how old the oldest victim was?
Oh, I want to say that they were in their early 20s. I think they were in their very early 20s.
Okay, the oldest was 28 years old, but you can still have a truth bomb for the fact that it's true. What you're saying, that it was young adults who were also murdered. It's terrible that it continued. Do you know when? Well, you can tell me when it continued until for another truth bomb some other time during this round, I'm sure. Okay, the murders took place in multiple cities across Georgia.
False.
Good. Correct. It's false. They were, of course, concentrated in Atlanta, though some of the bodies were found in surrounding counties. If you want to add anything, you can. Next one. Oh, go on.
No, I'll wait.
You'll wait. Okay. At least 28 victims are officially linked to the Atlanta child murders.
False.
Oh, it's true.
Damn.
Wow. Well, this is by AI, of course. The official task force list includes 28 victims, though some, like you, would argue the number is higher.
Yeah, it's okay. So the task force, their list is the ranges on the list changed. They changed what was the requirement to be considered a victim.
Do you want to add a truth bomb in there? Do you want to? Is that what you're doing here?
No, I'm just gonna leave it be.
Okay. Just leave it be. The majority of the victims were African American males.
True.
True. Yeah. Most victims were young black boys and men. That's really sad. Okay.
Can I add in a truth bomb?
Yes, go on, do it, please.
So, while that is true, that predominantly it was African American males, there was a female, very young, and also the police would not include the young white children that were also showing up dead. There was a very well-known child pornographer that multiple victims were seen at his home while all of this was going on, but they only found pictures of white kids, so they didn't include them there.
A good truth bomb. Well done. Okay, you get a point there. So Wayne Williams was arrested in June 1981 in connection with the murders.
I'm going to go with true.
Yeah. He was arrested on the 21st of June, 1981. Just a nipper. Okay. Williams was convicted of murdering all 28 victims on the official list.
False. Wayne Williams was convicted, a truth bomb, convicted of only killing 2 adults.
Yes, okay, good. False. It was false, and he was convicted of 2 adult murders. Do you remember either of those guys' names? I'll give you an extra point if you do.
Gosh, I wish that I could, and I should, but I don't. No. I'm not even going to try.
Nathaniel Cater and Jimmy Ray Payne.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know which year he was convicted in?
Ooh, that's a great question. Was it 83?
Oh, you went safe in going safe. You got it wrong. No, it's 1982. I saw you almost say 2 then. I thought you were about to say 1982. But no, it was 1982. That's what they say that's what AI says anyway. Okay. So remember, AI can be wrong on these matters. Okay, the next one. The Atlanta child murders stopped completely after Williams' arrest. Remember, It's AI. It's the official narrative.
Okay, true.
You don't look like you mean that. You do not look like you mean. You don't. Go on. So he's correct. You can add in extra on a truth bomb about what you said before as well, if you've got anything extra there.
Did the AI say that's true?
Yeah. You're correct. You get a point for that, for guessing what AI said. True. No similar murders matching the pattern occurred after his arrest. Hong Kong. That's what AI said. So,
Another truth bomb that I will add in is, why can't I think of his name? John Douglas, of the Behavioral Science Unit of the FBI. This was the first time that their task force was actually rolled out, was during the Atlanta child murders. He even wrote in his book Mindhunter that the crimes didn't stop, and that he doesn't believe that Wayne Williams killed those kids.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good truth bomb. That's a nice truth bomb. I like it. I can't believe AI sometimes. It's just like, it is your establishment master. It goes right through me. Okay, right. Next one. Not always, though. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. So police caught Williams dumping a body into the Chattahoochee River.
Okay, this is the AI narrative. I would go true.
Oh, no, you made the things false. He was stopped on a bridge over the river.
Oh, I thought that I was going with the AI thing, and that's what they were going to say.
Yeah, they tricked you. I'm very sorry. Sometimes it's
okay.
It's right and sometimes it's wrong. Do you want to add anything to that?
Truth bomb. There are no witnesses. There were no witnesses to that at all.
No witness.
The police acknowledged that. They made it. That's made up.
Okay, that's good. Made up. I like it. They say no body was seen being dumped. Nathaniel Carter's body was found downstream days later. What AI says. I'll give you a point there. Okay, so Fiber evidence from Williams' home and car was key to his conviction.
True.
True. Dog hairs and carpet fibers linked him to multiple victims. What type of dog do you think he had?
I know what type of dog he had. He had a German Shepherd.
Really? Is that true?
I'm dead serious.
Is that a truth bomb?
That's a truth bomb.
Yeah, truth bomb. Okay, I'll give you a point. I don't know if it's true myself, but you're so sure. I'm like, I believe you. I believe you. Okay, excellent. I didn't expect you to have the answer to that question, to be honest. That was really impressive. that's like top level knowledge. Because I like every time I hear a story with this dog, I'm like, ooh, what type of dog is it? I can't help it. Anyway, okay, right. Williams, yeah, made me laugh. Williams passed all 3 polygraph tests he was given.
Ooh, that's... I'm going to go with false.
Yeah, false. He failed or showed deception in all 3 tests. Like, yeah, most definitely. Those type of tests, a little bit polygraph. You got anything on polygraphs or anything like that? Any truth bombs that you can give?
You mean on the validity of a polygraph?
Or anything like other cases where polygraphs have proven to be false or accurate or whatever. Anything at all? I don't mind. I'm fishing for truth bombs. That's what I do. It's my job.
Well, everything that I've seen is that, you know, the levels of sweat that it measures in your hand, and also, you know, it can kind of measure your pulse. It's not a determinant of if you're actually telling the truth. When you're being interrogated, you're nervous, you're anxious already, and a lot of that stuff doesn't stand in court. It doesn't hold up legally. So that argument of, you know, that he's actually being deceptive, I mean, I think he was doing some other things that he was probably very nervous about, but I don't think that he killed the kids, and that's why he failed it.
Oh, well, we talk about that. Let's give you a point for the truth bomb there, but we'll talk about that in a sec. This is the next question. The prosecution claimed Williams killed his victims by strangulation.
I'm going to go with true.
Yes, true. You got the point there. Asphyxiation or strangulation was the cause of death in the cases he was convicted for, at least the 2. But you don't think he actually killed the kids?
No, I don't think he killed any children. Okay. There's no evidence to support it. I do think that him and his father was arrested for taking inappropriate photos of school-age children a couple years prior in another county. And when as the story goes, the neighbors saw Wayne Williams and his father destroying boxes of photos in their backyard. They were lighting them on fire. I think that they were involved in like some type of pornography ring, some type of blackmail ring. And that also gets really complicated because that involves former members of MLK's inner circle. There's a good argument that it was a blackmail ring for them. So
that's really interesting. That's really okay. I'm going to give you that as I'm going to give it as a bonus point rather than a truth bomb. Get a little bonus point there, a little Brucey bonus. Okay, next one. The prosecution linked Williams to 10 additional murders beyond the 2 he was convicted for.
Well, that's a doozy. I'm going to go with true.
Yeah, true. They presented evidence tying him to other cases during the sentence. Why don't you think they actually managed to get anything hooked on him?
Because they didn't do it.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You get a laugh point. That's a laugh point. Write it down.
I'm just saying, I mean, you know, there's a lot of powerful people involved when you actually really look into it, and there's always a fall guy, right?
Yeah. Always. And that goes back for thousands of years. Thousands. Okay. Next one. Edward Smith and Alfred Evans, both 14, were among the first victims.
I'm going to just go with true.
Yeah. True. So they went missing were found days later. Do you know what month? Can you remember what month it is that they went missing?
No.
Kind of said it near the start, so.
June.
July.
See, I told you I didn't
very
know.
Close. Yeah, you were correct. You didn't know. You were very honest and humble. I'm proud of you. The 1985 CBS movie, The Atlanta Child Murders, very snazzy name, suggested Williams was innocent.
Oh, I haven't seen this. Well, if it was on TV in 1985, I'm gonna say it assumed that he was guilty, so false.
No, true.
Dang.
Question the evidence. Upset. There's something about like 70s and 80s movies where I think when they were making like these intelligence sort of movies to dispute things, they were kind of getting ahead of themselves on fifth generation warfare and just going like, let's put out the actual thing we did and see what people do. And I think they were getting all meta with it. So I've seen a few crazy documentaries. That's amazing. You want to watch that now? I take it.
Absolutely. I didn't know that they came out with something that close to the crimes.
Yeah. That's amazing. 1985, only a few years after, 2 years after his conviction. So I suppose it makes sense. Okay. Apparently, it says it questioned the evidence, upsetting Georgia officials. The officials were upset. I bet they were all clucking and everything. Right. All victims were found fully clothed in their own garments.
False,
yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So some, like Smith and Evans, wore clothes not theirs, with items missing. So they weren't even wearing their own clothes at times, which is horrible to think about. Okay, we're going to the next one. That last question, like, this is the thing about going through things like this. That last question hit me a little bit psychologically, like it's just makes you feel a bit sick inside. You really connect with what's going on. Right, Yusef Bell's murder led to claims of racial motivation by the Ku Klux Klan.
True,
yeah. I did call them the Ku Klux Klan. Like then, I did add an L at the beginning. The Ku Klux Klan, but it's Ku Klux Klan.
At least I got that one right.
Yeah, his 1979 death fueled such speculation, though unproven. Do you think there was any involvement by such an organization like the Ku Klux Klan?
While it doesn't match their MO, I am much more sympathetic to the grieving parents of Atlanta, so I don't fault them for suspecting that at all. And I think that they had every right to be suspicious. There was that at the time there was a daycare that there was an explosion. Those kids were not included in the list of victims that were killed. Nobody really knows, how that was started. It seemed very suspicious. And then also, you have the Klan did the church bombing, I think, in Atlanta a couple of years earlier, and Hoover sealed those files permanently. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting as well. That is interesting as well. Okay, so with one last question, you get a bonus point there on the end. But if you do want to throw something like that in, remember, if you say truth bomb, you get a truth bomb point. It doesn't matter. It's all points. Williams and his lawyers sought DNA testing in the 1990s to prove his innocence.
True.
True. Correct. Yes. Go on.
Truth
Do you want-
bomb.
Yes.
Mr. Alan Dershowitz would go on to represent Wayne Williams and completely tanked the case being reinvestigated.
Dirty Dershowitz, you're
Mhm.
saying? A
Mhm.
man, I find him. Is that's emblematic of the man himself. I mean, that whole thing. You get a point there, of course, but Dershowitz, like he's amazing at doing that. That's basically what his MO is, and people do it to him too. Because I know that was done to him in the Epstein case to try and get him off the Epstein case. And that's really, it's just lawfare, really. Some different forms of dirty propaganda lawfare, but Dirty Dershowitz is pretty dirty, so it's easy to make things stick. Okay, so that was the last one. You've done very well in this round, but we like to finish it off with any like sort of final truth bomb on the Atlanta child murderers to finish off the round. Anything that you think you want to say about it?
For people that think that I sound crazy bringing up the concept of former members of MLK's inner circle being blackmailed, I would highly recommend reading the book The List by Chet Dellinger. There is a PDF online. It's hundreds of dollars otherwise, and good luck getting a copy. But that was the safety commissioner in Atlanta at the time. The guy knows what he's talking about. That's the argument that he lays out without saying it. And there are other people who are much smarter than me that have studied this much longer than me, and they agree that that is the thesis. That's what the evidence shows.
That is extraordinary. That is extraordinary. Extra point just at the end there. You had a good round, Dana. A really good round. So second up here is Rachel. Come on. You can pick from the Perfumer Affair, Feminism, Modern Witchcraft, Kroll Inc., which you have to really, one day someone has to choose Kroll, and Charles Manson. What are you going to choose?
I choose Feminism, of course, Johnny.
Of course you're going to choose Feminism. It's almost like I've made it purposely for you. Who would think I'd do such a thing? Right, okay, okie dokie. 18, this is a true and false round, the Wall of Dystopia. Okay. So you get 18 true or false questions on feminism. The first wave of feminism, or that wave, in the United States began in the 1960s.
False.
Correct. You get a point there. Do you want to add in a truth bomb in there at all?
Yeah, I would say most people would say it started probably like around the middle 1800s with, the Seneca Falls Convention. I would say I would actually go back further to Mary Wollstonecraft and the French and American revolutions, because even though she wasn't technically here in America, although I do think she may have been able to travel here, because Thomas Paine was like a good pal of hers and really helped promote her. I would say it was really more then, but it got popular around the middle 1800s.
That's amazing. Yeah, and of course, the Seneca Fall Convention in 1848 is a marker for that. That's an excellent truth bomb there. You get it correct. And remember, you've got to remember, though, that it's AI itself who's giving the answers here. So sometimes they're not what you expect. But don't let that confuse you either. That was a good answer. The Seneca Falls Convention of 1848 was the first organized women's rights meeting in the U.S.
Yes.
True? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Correct.
True.
Correct.
True.
Correct. Have you got any truth bombs? You can add in a truth bomb.
Well, I would add that right around this time, this wasn't merely a political movement. There was a huge religious wave of spiritualism. So most of the women involved in the Seneca Falls Convention were involved in some way in the spiritualist movement. It was very popular, and they were involved in a lot of really bizarre, like paranormal and occult type of things, like fortune telling, automatic writing. A lot of the first wave suffragists who were at Seneca Falls claimed to be automatic writers and said they were not writing their own opinions, right? That they were receiving these messages from ancient spirits and things like that. So
a fantastic way to create a proxy for your logic. Excellent,
isn't it?
excellent truth bomb. There, brilliant. Okay. The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution granting women the vote was ratified in 1920.
True.
True. Yes. Yes, correct. Anything you can add anything in there?
The truth bomb for that one, I think, would be that it was mostly wealthy industrialist progressives who helped fund and push the passage of the 19th Amendment, even though it was deeply unpopular with the whole American public, especially women.
Any big names who backed that? Do you know that you can
Yes, Alva Vanderbilt Belmont, who was a twice divorcee of two very wealthy industrialists. Cornelius Vanderbilt, who worked with two women who were supposed fortune tellers and like tarot card readers and like could see your future and read your palm and everything, and they helped him scam the stock market. They really didn't actually, I mean, maybe they were contacting spirits, I would not put that past them, but it was mostly the fact that they were also running a prostitution ring, and many of their clients were wealthy Wall Street guys, and so they got insider trading information, passed that along to Vanderbilt. He gamed the stock market in the first big Black Friday crash, and with the money that he gave them a cut of what he got. They began the very first printing press that printed the first copies of the Communist Manifesto in the United States.
Oh wow! Okay, that was I tell you, by a lot of it, there was a lot of insider trading going on there. Let's keep going. Okay, Betty Friedan's book, The Feminine Mystique, from 1963, is credited with sparking the second wave of feminism.
True.
Okay, true. It critiqued the post-World War II housewife role, galvanizing feminist activism. All right, now we'll go on to the next one. Third wave feminism emerged in the early 1990s and emphasized intersectionality.
True.
Okay, yes, correct. Of course, there's some interesting figures in that as well.
Sure is.
So anybody in there that you think's interesting in third wave feminism?
Yeah, a sneaky one that most people don't think about would be Oprah Winfrey. She was probably the biggest megaphone for third wave that there was, and she pushed a ton of third wave propaganda through her very extremely popular show. She had like kind of a media monopoly, and her time slot on TV was, I mean, every housewife in America was watching the Oprah Winfrey Show in the 90s. So she really pushed a lot of it into the mainstream and made it normal, you know.
A lot of race, class, sexuality, all of that stuff going in there. Indeed, I remember watching Oprah when I was young with my mum, and I loved it. But yes, okay. I was a kid. I didn't know any better, and everybody was clapping and getting excited. You know, you kind of like it. I also liked the Dallas theme tune. Don't judge me. Okay, next one. Intersectionality, a feminist concept, was coined by Bell Hooks.
I think that one's false.
You're quite correct. It is false, yes.
Bell Hooks was before that. Mm-hmm.
Do you know who is credited with it?
I don't know if this is correct, but if I had to guess, I would say either Sandra Harding or one of her cronies, maybe, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's Kimberly Crenshaw introduced it in 1989 to highlight overlapping oppression.
There you go.
Okay, so the term feminism was first used in the United States.
I'm going to say false.
Correct. You got a point there. If you can tell me the country that is actually credited with, I'll give you a bonus point. No need for a truth bomb.
England?
No, it
No.
was Feminism. It was
Oh,
France. Sacre
that was
bleu.
gonna be my guess, but I
Mon
thought since you
Dieu,
said
you do not
feminism, I thought
know.
it's gotta be like either the UK or Australia, maybe. But
Hubertine Auclair was the person, apparently. Hubertine. Uber. They would say Hubertine. And have that H. They don't like it. Okay, you get the correct for it being false. Fourth wave feminism is driven largely by digital activism and social media.
I would say true.
Yeah, true. Garrot me now, please. Just end it. Yeah, indeed. Me too. Me sad too. Okay, next one. Radical feminism seeks to dismantle patriarchy entirely rather than reform it.
True.
True, yes. Any truth bombs on radical feminism?
I would say all feminism is radical. Like people have this idea that first wave was like really reasonable and really most people say, "Oh, I agree with first wave. Women should be able to vote and things like that." But if you go back and read the writings of the earliest like first wave feminists and the most popular ones like Susan B. Anthony is generally viewed as this like really reasonable figure, right? Nobody would think she was radical, but if you go back and read some of the stuff she and Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Margaret Fuller and Wollstonecraft and a lot of these people were writing, they were pretty radical and they wanted to completely dismantle patriarchal systems. They really, I mean, they'll pay some lip service to reforming it, but when in the moments when they're really telling you how they really feel and they're not being political, they're pretty brutal about just wanting to invert everything and turn it on its head. So my
Okay.
truth bomb would be it's all radical. To invert the natural order of things is a pretty radical thing to try to do.
Oh, it's a good truth bomb. It's a good truth bomb. There's many people who will agree with you, and there's many people who go, bah, humbug to her. Now, I love the name that Shulamith Firestone. What is that?
Great
What?
name, huh?
Yeah, great name. I mean, sound like a superhero or a supervillain. Who knows? Anyway, okay, next one. Liberal feminism opposes changes to traditional institutions like marriage.
Liberal feminism?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. Well, it says false.
Okay.
That's what AI. So you don't get that one. I'm afraid. It seeks reform within systems, not preservation of traditional norms. What it's claimed.
That's a little tricky. That's a little tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Of
Okay.
course it is. The feminist, it's AI. AI is a representative of the establishment, and the establishment's a little tricky. The feminist slogan, "The personal is political," came from the first wave.
I think that was second wave, so I'll say false.
False. Yes, indeed. Okay. It was coined in the second wave. Do you know who coined it?
Was that Steinem?
No, it was Carol Hannis.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that last name. Hannis, I
I
suppose.
think that's right.
Yeah,
Sounds
okay.
right.
It does. I doubt myself with it. Socialist feminism links gender oppression to capitalism.
True. It tries to.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. No one can hide it. It's true. Yeah, it argues economic systems perpetuate patriarchy, which, in some sense, they're right. Per thinkers
Mhm.
like Heidi Hartman, of course. Okay, you can throw in a truth bomb at any time if you want. Well, remember.
For that one, I would say that something a lot of people don't know is that the same, even though the Marxist feminists and the liberal feminists in the West seemed to disagree and butt heads, they actually had a lot in common. They worked together for mutual benefit when it suited them, and they were funded by a lot of the same people.
Yeah, that's a good truth bomb. That is a good truth bomb. Okay, right.
Yeah.
We got a few more now. Ecofeminism. Oh my God, will they just keep coming up with these? I mean, just add it all on. Okay, so ecofeminism connects environmental issues to women's oppression. I mean, AI is making it easy on you right now.
True.
True. Yeah. It emerged in the 1970s after many LSD sessions. No, it doesn't say that. Anyway, okay, right.
That's a good truth bomb, though, Johnny.
yeah, probably. But I'll give myself a point. Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, 1929, argued women need financial independence to write.
To write?
Yeah, to write. Virginia Woolf. I mean,
False?
she was like boo hoo hoo hoo.
Oh,
no,
I know.
It was true.
It was true. Well,
yeah.
how was she writing then?
Yeah, well, because she made a lot of money from writing.
Did she? I didn't think she was that popular. Like, I thought she was kind of one of those where she became more popular after her death, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was more popular than I thought.
I feel that really just men or women need financial independence to write. That's what from being a writer, it really doesn't like pay a lot of this time and the amount of research you got to put in. So I mean, go on.
My truth bomb for that would be, ironically, my husband supporting me is what enabled me to write. So I wouldn't have been able to write had I not had a husband to support me while I did this in my spare time. So
now, if I could convince him to run off with me. Right. Okay. Anyway, right. The next one. I'm gonna pronounce this correctly. The Riot Girl movement of the 1990s was part of third wave feminism.
True?
Yeah, true. Punk inspired. It tackled gender and sexuality through DIY culture. Does that include L7? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so. I listened to a lot of the edgy girl punk bands back in the day on AM radio because I was born in 1980. So right about the time I got in junior high in the early 90s and started getting really into music, a lot of those kind of bands were the girl bands like Hole and Susie and the Banshees, and there's a whole bunch of them that were all like these punk girl bands, and it was a lot of rad femme themes in the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely. I had this strange occurrence happened while I was looking at a Wikipedia page of Virginia Giuffre the other day. I was looking at the history. I was looking at who's been changing things just after she died. I like doing that. It tends to lead you to people that are interesting. And I realized one account kept continuously changing through the pages about Epstein victims and stuff as things happen in a way that I don't know if it's positive or negative, but you look at it and you can see there's one account and it seems to be someone who is either in or was promoting for L7. And I found that really interesting because a lot of the other stuff that they started doing on Wikipedia was all L7, all details about the band, all the page created by this person. I found it really interesting. Yeah, I get a feeling there might be a load of stuff.
There's probably a whole rabbit hole. There's probably a whole rabbit hole of, who started the labels that signed these. Because I'm going to be honest, okay? To my 12, 13-year-old ears, these bands were really cool. I've gone back now with my adult ears and listened to a lot of their music, and I'm like,
yeah,
not so good. It's not so good. A lot. There's some gems, like there's a few Liz Phair songs that are still good. There's a few of them. But I bet if you went back and looked at who funded Lilith Fair and promoted it, I should do that. I should look into that.
Okay. Well, we'll do that afterwards. For the time being, let's go on to the next one. The feminist movement has no male supporters.
False.
Yeah, false, of course.
The simps love feminism. It's their favorite.
Yeah, John Stuart Mill, you simp.
They ride in on their white horses and defend milady. Yes.
Hey, I got a white horse. Anyway. Okay, 2 questions left. Here we go. The feminist movement has been criticized for focusing only on white women's issues.
True.
Yeah, true indeed. And who do you know anyone who highlighted early racial blind spots? Someone we might have already mentioned?
Gosh, this is digging deep in my brain to try to retrieve those names because, to their credit, nobody asks me about this very often. Angela, what's her last name? She was writing in like the 70s and 80s about this, and she was kind of like a black power feminist gal, and I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but and then pretty much all of fourth wave. I would say most of fourth wave is like really critical of the only white women and property owners aspect of Western feminism. They like the Marxist stuff better.
I won't give you the extra point there, but I will say it says again, they've mentioned bell hooks.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, next one. The last question on this true and false round. The term toxic masculinity was invented by feminists.
True?
False.
I knew that you were going to get a gotcha in there.
Yeah.
Okay, who invented it? Who did it?
In the men's movement, 1980s, but was adopted by feminists. That's all it says.
You know what?
Yeah, but it might be wrong anyway, so go on.
I think that that's true, and I think what it's referring to, I had to dig into this a little bit because my husband found this. He was debating somebody on a topic that was like adjacent to this, and in the early 80s there was, I think it started in the 70s, but it got really popular in the 80s. There was this movement of men's rights guys that got into this, like, you ever see the men's retreats where the men all go out and they cry?
Yeah.
They like let out all their feelings and they cry to each other, and yeah. It was like it was a weird, I think that's correct that they did come up with the term, now that I think of it, because they were saying that like feminism was correct about this one thing, which is that society's too hard on men and they're expected to be too stoic, and that this isn't fair and it's actually oppression of men. And so it started this weird cult of guys that would do these nature retreats, and they would, usually hallucinogenic drugs are involved in this stuff too, but they would go to the woods and like cry and get in touch with their feelings. Yeah.
I think I've noticed there's a lot of guys who actually their mating strategy is to just look like they're a weak, injured deer of some sort, and that seems to really work. For them. I'm really impressed by some of the men I've seen around limping about like they're a poor soul. Excellent. That's a really good round. Come on, just give me one last truth bomb about feminism that you think people should know. Anything you like, I don't mind. You sounded like you were going to sing Mary Poppins there. Full of sugar helps the feminism go down.
A big one is that it's not a grassroots organic movement whatsoever. It was never this like groundswell where the people pushed it to the top. Like there's not very many of those. A lot of movements are astroturfed, but feminism is certainly one that was very astroturfed. Like they had to drag people along, and it took, almost 2 centuries to get most people on board with it. And it took billions of dollars in funding. It took the creation of gender studies departments, and it took the CIA, propagating feminism through the Congress for Cultural Freedom and through the Laurel Canyon scene and a bunch of Hollywood stuff and all. I mean, we're talking like billions of dollars over a century to get everybody to believe this stuff. And prior to that, it was just very much outright rejected by everyone. So
fantastic. You get a truth bomb point for that. It's true, the murky world of feminism, these women don't have to cause trouble. That's what I've always said. After round 1, the Wall of Dystopia, Rachel scored 15, had 8 truth bombs, 1 corruption point, and 1 bonus point, scoring 25. Dana scored 15, 10 truth bombs, so a couple of extra, 1 corruption points, 2 bonus points, and 1 laughter point, giving a little bit extra on 29. The scores are 29-25. So, Dana, did you know that you're like Patricia Hearst to my Louis Jolion West? Did you know that?
That's not funny.
No, it's not. Would you let me analyze you mentally after 18 months of captivity, or do I have to keep you locked up for another 18 months?
I know what Jolly did to Patty Hearst, so
Oh,
just keep me
wow.
locked up.
Well, do it. Throw in a truth bomb then. Throw in a truth bomb, because I don't know.
Oh, so Patty Hearst wrote a memoir, a tell-all about what happened with the stuff at the SLA, and it was Jolly West, Martin Orne, Richard Offshee, what is his name? Robert Lifton, I think, and Margaret Singer. And she said that
God, that's a lineup.
I know, right? Like, here's your CIA superstars. She was treated inappropriately sexually by Martin Orne, Jolly West, Richard Offshee, and Martin Orne basically told her, like, you did good, kid. We've seen men die much earlier than, you know, how long you survived. We've seen them die within a couple of days, like basically insinuating that they knew what was going on with her the entire time.
That is an amazing. Wow. There you go. You get an extra bonus point. We'll throw a bonus point. Mark a bonus point down, please. So how long have you been researching these freaky manipulators of society?
Oh boy. How long since I've been on Instagram? What was that? 23? I think 2023.
So it's
Late
around the time when me and
2022.
you met as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's super cool. Super cool that I've been able to be part of that journey, and I'm really happy that I have been, because I've been enjoying watching you for the entire time. It's been, I mean, you like, we are really close. What we research, it comes so close. Yeah, it only crosses over a little bit, and you bring new things to me which I've never seen, and I really appreciate. Who do you think's the worst you've come across so far?
The worst researcher or the worst
No,
person?
well, if you want, go on.
I made you laugh.
Give me names. Give me
No, I will
names.
not do that. I made you laugh. Ask the question again.
Okay, laugh point. Oh, you're claiming a laugh point, I see. So who do you think's the worst you've come across of these freaky manipulators of society, these nasty, nefarious ne'er-do-wells, these Jolion West characters, these L. Ron Hubbards, Hubbards?
The process.
Okay, yeah. We'll be getting onto that. So, just one last question. Is Scientology that bad, or are you just xenophobic?
Scientology is definitely that bad, and I am also xenophobic.
Okay, there you go. That's a good answer. That's good. So, Rachel, your work is clearly focused on extremist, spooky cat ladies. Do you own any cats yourself? Just tell me
I have
the truth.
2 cats.
Oh, that's all right. That's an acceptable amount.
That's okay because I have 5 kids. So
Okay.
as long as you don't have more cats than you have kids, you can have cats.
I didn't know this rule. This rule sounds like cat lady politics. That's what it sounds like. Okay. All right. I'm trying to understand, though, if a secret order of felinious females really exists. Is this, do you think this is a secret order of cat ladies?
I don't think it's secret. I think they're pretty out in the open. You can find them all over TikTok.
Once you see it everywhere. Indeed, you're right. Okay. So, so is the CIA actually an intelligence agency these days, or has it become more of a coven?
It's both. They're still definitely doing intelligence operations, but they're also pretty much a coven, yeah.
Yeah. I do have jokes about the patriarchy, but they tend to dominate other jokes, so I don't use them very well. I'm sorry, but okay. I mean, forgive me. Forgive me for this next one. No. Seeing as the majority of modern feminism appears to be constructed by the CIA, Is it more appropriate to refer to them as Gal Qaeda?
Well, I like it. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to call them Gal Qaeda.
You get an extra point here, and a partially a laughter point for actually laughing at my jokes. Well done, you. So that's brilliant. Okay, you're gone up to 26. That's good. Let's go to the combined round. Now we're entering the round called Wankety Wank. Honest and truthful AI has come up with 8 quotes. However, I have sneakily swapped one of the words with the famous phrase with the word wank. It's a naughty word over here in the UK, you know. It'll be our contestants' job to guess the original word. If they get the quote wrong, then the opportunity will be handed over to their opponent alongside the quote. For our contestants, they will also see a picture of the person behind the famous phrase. You can gain extra points for identifying the author, but only if you correctly guess the missing word. You can only score truth bomb points if you answer correctly. Rachel will take the first round, and then we'll alternate. Let's play Wankety Wank. Here we go. Rachel, this is the first one. For you up first. The algorithm wanks you better than you wank yourself.
Okay, so first I got to try to get the phrase correct.
Yeah. There's one missing word. It's the same word. So
I'm gonna guess the algorithm teaches you better than you teach yourself.
No, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Dana,
it just came to me.
Don't say it then. Don't say it.
I won't.
Don't say
I
it.
won't.
Okay. Dana, do you know what the answer might be?
The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself.
Oh yes, it does. And do you know? Oh my God, he's so hard to look at with his hairy body. Do you know who that is on the picture in the Marshmallow Rainbow Land?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Yuval Harari.
There you go. Yeah, Yuval Noah Harari. Or in that picture is Yuval Noah Harari.
He looks like Gollum.
He does look like, yeah, but in real life he also looks like Gollum, so that's not fair. Okay, you get 1 point there, Dana. Well done. Okay, you get up first for this next one. No, let's go for this next one. Here we go. Oh my Lord, she's got a face. I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their wank off our necks.
Boots?
Oh, no. I'm going to pass it over. Close to no tomato. Pass it over to Rachel.
Okay. Well, I know who it is. But I would have guessed. Did she get it wrong because it was a plural? Or no?
There was
foot?
no.
I'll go with foot. I don't know.
Okay.
I would have guessed.
I'm tempted to not give it to you because you didn't pluralize. Because she said take off their feet off our necks. But no, I will give you the point there. You say you know who it is? Oh, it's hard to look at her. Yeah. Go on.
It's Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Or Furry Bader Ginsburger in this picture.
She looks like a popple. Do you remember popples from the 80s, the little toys?
Yeah, I feel like I do.
Looks like a popple.
I feel like I do. But I remember a lot of toys from the 80s. Right. Anyway, right. Okay, next one. Here we go. This is back to you, Rachel. A woman without a man is like a fish without a wank.
That one is bicycle.
Oh, you did well. That was a hard one. And yes, indeed, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. You know who that is, of course, don't you?
That's Gloria Steinem.
That's Gloria Steinem. She'll come up again. She's going to come up again in this quiz. I can promise you that. Indeed, it is Gloria Sweetmeats herself. Dana, over to you for the next one. Okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. What if everything? Oh, this is a hard one. I gotta admit. What if everything is an illusion and nothing exists? In that case, I definitely overpaid for my wank.
I have no idea, so I'm gonna say for my trip.
For your what?
Trip.
No. Carpet.
Oh.
I know you would really have to know that phrase. It's a hard one. And that was, of course, Furry Allen there. Rachel, next one's for you. Here we go. I know the people at home enjoy writing down these. You can get it in the chat. My journey now will be to learn about myself and wank my demons.
I think he probably is, in fact. Well, I don't think he's with us anymore, but he probably was going to wank his demons. I'm pretty sure about that. I would guess exercise my demons.
No, I'm gonna pass it over to Dana. Dana, what can you? You have to look
and tame.
Oh no, unfortunately, neither of you get it. It is my journey now will be to learn about myself and conquer my demons. It's of course the abominable hairy wine gum. Right, next one up here. Today is for you. Is it for yeah? It's Dana now.
Oh my!
Here we go. Oh wow, something's happened with the actual titling there. So I'm just going to read out the quote for you. Everything's going crazy. There you go. Now it's working. Dana, here you go. I don't care if I live or die. Go ahead and wank me.
The person in that photo, I feel like that's what they were. This is actually what they wanted to say. Go ahead and kill me.
Yes, it is. It is. You're correct. And who is this guy?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, correct. Jelly Bean Dharma, as I call him. Yes, it is indeed. Jelly Bean Dharma. Okay. The next one. The next one's for you here, Rach. I believe in you. You can come, but you gotta come back hard now. You know, she's really starting to run away from
No
you.
room for mistakes now. I better get my act together.
This is pretty important. Okay, the next one. Here we go. We serial killers wank your sons. We wank your husbands. We wank everywhere. That's a sentence. Same word. Vicky as well.
Oh, we serial killers are your sons. We are your husbands. We are everywhere.
Oh, look at you. Yes. Come in, bring it. And who is it that's there?
I don't know which one that is. Is it Ted Bundy?
Yes, good. It's Rainbow Bundy. Indeed.
They aged him. I feel like they aged him a lot.
Yeah. AI, they're a bunch of dirty rotten
Got that by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that was good. It was Ted Bundy. And the last one now goes to you, Dana. Here we go. Here's the last one. The war is between us and the Jews. Any ally of theirs is ours to wank.
Oh no. Okay. The war is between us and the Jews. An ally of theirs is ours to destroy.
Oh. It's a hard one. It's the war is between us and the Jews. Any ally of theirs is ours to blame. Unfortunately, that was a super hard one. I don't think anyone would got that. You can have a point here, Rachel, because I've already given the answer away. If you tell me who that person is, I think you know it.
That's Osama bin Laden.
What do you think I would have given him, either of you? What do you think I would have given him as a silly name, seeing as he looks so sweet and tasty, like you could eat his beard?
Osama bin Latte.
Oh, that's a good try. You got anything, Dana?
Osama bin Lollipop.
Oh, close, very close. I went with Osama Bon Laden. There you go. So After that round, Rachel scored 7 and Dana scored 4. So it's leveling up a little bit. Dana is on about 33 and Rachel is now on, I think, 33 because she got the extra bonus point too. I think we're coming up to a tie. Who knows? We'll find out. Okay, excellent. So, Rachel, what are you looking forward to the most? Lactating robots or fifth wave digital female Hitler?
I'm going to go with the female Hitler.
Okay.
Robots creep me out. Ugh.
Yeah, indeed. I think fifth wave digital female Hitler is probably a bit robotic somewhere along the lines. Dana?
Could be fun. It could be interesting.
Oh, what about this? Do you know what you get, Dana, if you cross the head of Scientology with divorce papers?
Oh no, I have no idea.
Buried in the basement of Scientology headquarters.
Damn, that's dark.
Yeah, I know. Super
Inaccurate.
Brutal.
dark. Inaccurate. Yeah, those are the best jokes. Dark and accurate are the best jokes. So now I'm going to ask you 18 general knowledge questions generated by honest and truthful AI on Gloria Steinem's CIA career. Of course, you may sense a bit of outrageous bullshit, and you can earn extra points by setting the story straight, adding in a truth bomb or two along the way. Are you ready, Rachel?
I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I know you're devastating with these rounds. Okay, here we go. In which decade did Gloria Steinem first become involved with a CIA-funded organization?
I think it was the 50s.
Ah, yes, the 1950s is
Yeah,
true.
I thought it was late 50s. Yeah.
It is indeed. Okay. I also asked AI to make sure that they put in any of my work or Hugh Wilford's work into the mix as well. I wanted to see how they would do, but they've only mentioned me a couple of times, but just basically what other people have worked out any day anyway. So this one is, what scholarship did Steinem receive after graduating per Vedmore's reporting? Yeah, this isn't only mine. This has been reported over and over, hasn't it?
I know, it's in my book, which I have right here. I was like about to look in it and cheat. It was they basically made it up for her as kind of a phony baloney thing. Oh, can I look?
No, you cannot. I cannot believe you're actually cheating. Are you actually cheating?
I know this one and I can't remember the word.
The first word is and the last word is fellowship.
Well, thanks, Johnny. Thanks for the hint.
Yeah, sorry about that. What can I do?
Oh, I'm gonna be so mad at myself. Give me 1 second.
It was a course after she had left certain university.
Yeah, they recruited her out of Smith and gave her this fake ass fellowship so that she could go to India and do CIA shenanigans.
I'm gonna have to give you the answer, and it's gonna be really annoying for you. I really apologize. I'll see if I go it by syllable. Chester Bowles.
The Chester Bowles Fellowship.
They say the Chester Bowles Asian Fellowship, but it's known as a Chester Bowles Fellowship. Okay, next question. You can add a truth bomb in there if you want, though.
I guess the truth bomb would just be that nobody else can find any record of anyone else ever having received this fellowship, and it appears to have been created simply to get her into CIA ops.
Yeah, that's a very good truth bomb, and you can have a point for that, that's for sure. What was Steinem's alma mater, which she attended before?
Smith College?
Yep, indeed. Any extra on Smith College?
Just that most second wave feminist activists were recruited out of Smith, so I think there was special interest in Smith College being a women's college. Very easy place to, radicalize women and then, use them for this sort of work.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, that's an extra point. What was the name of the CIA-funded group Gloria Steinem worked with?
The name of the group? Do you mean the
CIA-funded organization?
The one that did all of the festivals and stuff
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Europe? This is going to be just like the Chester Bowles Fellowship, where I know it and I know that I know it. Hold on. It's the I always mix it up with the Congress for Cultural Freedom. It's not. It's but it's another Cold War program. Can't remember.
Oh, that's going to annoy you for sure. The
It
Independent
is. I gotta go back over my own stuff.
Yeah, the Independent Research Service, the IRS, of course, is a little bit. It was actually a little piece of her working for the IRS. Was a cut scene in that 1967 expose about her. Well, we'll talk about that maybe later. What was the primary goal of the Independent Research Service?
I think it was just to disseminate Cold War propaganda to Europe and other places.
I'll accept that, to counter communist influence. International youth festivals, of course, but we've already talked about the youth festival aspect. Any truth bombs on there, or?
Just that a lot of that was also helped out by funding from the Ford Foundation.
Yeah, indeed it was. Indeed, the Ford Foundation heavily involved, and also used as an excuse that she couldn't get funding from the Ford Foundation, to why she ended up working for the CIA as well when she went on that same program. Okay, interesting. Next one. That's an extra point there. What was Gloria Steinem's official role with the Independent Research Service?
Her official role?
Yeah, they've
was I don't know if they just classify her as a journalist?
No. She was classified as a director and organizer, but I would have accepted either or. Okay, next one. How long did Steinem's work with the IRS, or how long did she work with the IRS?
I'm going to guess about 3 years.
Ooh, approximately 4 years, 1958 to 1962. I won't give you that. If you want to add in any truth bombs at any time, do so. You've got lots. I know you've got a lot in that noggin of yours. Noggin is what we call a head, of course. I don't know if you do the same over there.
The truth bomb I'll throw in for that one is that in her memoirs, she wrote about when she was traveling on her way to India and then Europe, that she stopped in the UK to have an abortion, and that doctor who provided the abortion told her, he would do it and he wouldn't tell anyone as long as she promised to live her life for herself and follow her dreams. So yeah, she had to take this opportunity. I believe her that she had the abortion, but I think
story. Heroic abortion story.
They always have to fit some abortion propaganda in somewhere and make it sound like it was actually a heroic thing to do, and that, she wouldn't have been able to do all this good for humanity had she not had the abortion, right? Because babies hold you back. You can't do anything once you have a baby.
Okay, excellent. Get an extra point there. You don't get a point for the original question, but you get a point as a truth bomb. What weekly salary did Steinem earn? This is a hard one. From the IRS in 1959, as noted by Hugh Wilford.
Weekly salary? I don't know. I'm just going to give it a wild guess and say $100.
The answer is $100, equivalent to over $1,000 today. Yeah, indeed. Okay, you get correct answer.
Woohoo!
That was good. In which year did Steinem attend the World Festival of Youth and Students in Vienna?
in Vienna.
When was that Vienna? The fateful Vienna Festival with the running battles that are quite blurry on the cameras, but
61.
Oh no, it was 1959. Who planned the Vienna Festival, making it a CIA target? This is a hard one.
I don't know, but I will guess Clay Felker.
Oh no, it means who planned the Vienna Festival. It was actually Alexander Shelpin, because he was the actual Soviets who planned it, and that's why they had to go counter it. Here we go. They've included.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. They've included me in here again. So when I've asked them who, and this is common knowledge again, but who does Vedmore claim recruited Steinem to the CIA during her time in India?
I don't know who you claim recruited her. You got to tell me.
Who else? Who apparently recruited her in India? You know?
You weren't going to say Clay Felker, were you?
No. I'm not going to say Clay Falcon. No.
I think this is in my book too, actually. Sad.
Possibly.
You can tell I'm out of practice. I've barely done anything, streams or anything for like the last 9 months. I don't know.
This person is so this is a person she meets in India, and when she comes back, recruits her for the IRS, and it is Clive S. Gray, who is one of the very few men.
I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Okay, all right. Hugh Wilford was the one who said it first. They're saying it's just me, but it's not. And it's like, who does Vedmore claim? Like, you don't know it's true. Which magazine was central to exposing the CIA funding of the Independent Research Service?
I think that would be Rolling Stone.
No, is Ramparts magazine.
Ramparts, that's right.
Do you have any truth bombs for that?
No, I was thinking Rolling Stone because I think I was misremembering and crossing it over with some MK Ultra stuff that Rolling Stone did end up exposing. Right. Just that I think Ramparts wasn't that part of the Congress for Cultural Freedom, which was this giant network of CIA-funded rags magazines and stuff.
I don't know that, and I find that very interesting because Ramparts magazine did a lot. They were responsible for a lot.
I think that they, if I could be wrong, I'll have to go back and look, but I think that they had some funding, but it was like some of the journalists there started figuring out what was going on with this and started exposing it. But I think they had received some of the funding.
Okay,
for
I
that.
Be surprised about that because they were also involved in pushing the New York Times to publish the Kissinger, and it was running a course for leaders with CIA funded money out of Harvard, of course, which is of course mixed up with all of these same groups who were all working out of Harvard at the same time. Okay, so that's good. Let's go on. I like that. I'm going to give you a truth bomb for saying about the funding stuff as well. Name a notable figure who Steinem befriended in India.
Gandhi, right?
Yeah, Indira Gandhi. And of course, the widow of M.N. Roy, they like to always mention. Yeah, that's quite right. Okay, next one. Which feminist movement criticized Steinem's CIA past?
The Red Stockings?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna give you the actual. They say some radical feminists, and no single prominent name stands out consistently, but that is a lie, a complete lie. And even though normally I say you have to give AI's answer, I'm gonna accept Red Stockings because that's such an important moment in history.
Yeah.
Can you give a truth bomb about Red Stockings and a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think they were a pretty radical group who did a lot of like protests and things like that. And they were very rad femme. A lot of them were like separatists, even lesbian separatists and stuff like that in that group. One of the really radical I think a lot of members from Abby Rockefeller's Cell 16 were also in that group or moved to that group. And yeah, they were really critical of Steinem. And I think Betty Friedan sided with them against Steinem because there was a big rivalry between Betty Friedan and Gloria Steinem.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens around that time. That's a good truth bomb. I definitely accept that. Red Stockings movement was amazing. Kathy Sourchild as well, I think it was, who was one of them, who really stood out during that time. Do you know? Can you guess for an extra point? Can you tell me the publisher or the person who was heading up that publishing company that bought the rights to Red Stockings Manifesto?
No, I don't know that.
Okay. The publishing house was Random House, and it was headed up by Jason Epstein, who knew Gloria Steinem very well. And there's amazing. He ran round on one holiday. It was brought up in a magazine later. He ran round on one holiday he was on, shouting, "Do you know I'm the CIA? I work for the CIA. Did you know I work for the CIA?" So it's very interesting. Right. Okay. So did Steinem's CIA ties damage her feminist credibility long term?
Not really. No.
No. Any truth bombs about Steinem and her credibility and what she does now?
Well, I'd say like she really got in good with a lot of media people early on. She kind of became a media darling. They really liked her. And this was part of the reason that Betty Friedan, I think, was very jealous of Steinem, is that Steinem, for the time in the 60s and 70s, she looked cool. You know, I don't know if you'd say she was a hot chick, but she was as close as you'd probably get to having a feminist activist who is a hot chick. She had like highlighted hair and she dressed cool. And she was really good in front of a camera. She was a much better propagandist, whereas Friedan was older, a little frumpier, not so good to look at. She didn't make feminism feel cool to younger women. So I feel like what Steinem did was she got in really good with the media early on. She befriended a lot of people in Hollywood. I mean, Christian Bale is now her son-in-law. And she, you know, with Oprah, she's done tons of stuff with Oprah over the years. So even into the 90s, she was doing Oprah regularly and things like that. So I think her secret was what most of them do, which is just you get into the pop culture, you make friends in media and Hollywood, and then it doesn't really matter. The scandals just blow over.
Excellent. Okay, I'll give you an extra point there. That's too true. Truth bomb, the scandals just blow over. What magazine did Steinem later co-found unrelated to her CIA work?
Ms. Magazine?
Okay, any truth bomb there about Ms. Magazine?
Yes, I have a great one for you. So on the first issue, the cover had a picture of the goddess Kali, the Hindu goddess that has like 6 to 8 arms, depending on what depiction, blue skin. She's usually a terrifying, bloodthirsty goddess who only accepts sacrifices of males, especially like male warriors on the battlefield and this sort of thing. She wears like a garland of men's heads and like a belt of men's severed arms. And she's like this bloodthirsty figure. And I thought that was a really interesting choice for the cover of an American women's magazine that was marketed to housewives in 1970. And in the cover, she's holding like a baby and then like a spatula and then an iron. And it's supposed to be like they were constantly trying to convince American women that the most oppressive thing you could ever be is a housewife and a mother, that this is the worst hell you could ever endure, right? So it was like a really interesting way of tying in, her time in India, where she was, a lot of Hinduism and stuff is molded into like Western occultism. They borrow from like Hinduism and Buddhism and smash it in with Western occultism. So I thought that was a really interesting choice for the first cover.
Is a good truth bomb point. That's for sure. And in what year? So 2 questions left. In what year was Ms. Magazine first published?
72.
Oh, good. Yes, correct. And why do you think it was 1972? Why do you think that era saw this? Was this a new stage of Operation Mockingbird? Is this what we're watching?
Yeah, I've got a truth bomb for this one too. So I think the reason it was then is because in 1970, the Ford Foundation, which had also funded, remember we just talked about their funding for Steinem and her CIA projects, they also were the biggest funder. Second biggest funder would be the Rockefellers, but the Ford Foundation was the primary funder for the creation of gender studies as a discipline, and they created the first few gender studies departments in major universities. So that started in 1970, and this was specifically done as a way to push women to get college educations and enter the workforce. That's all it was about. It was not actually about, teaching women about history, because I could go off on this forever, so I'll just keep it short, but they used standpoint theory. They used standpoint theory. One of the Rockefellers, Nelson Rockefeller Jr., maybe, I don't remember which one, recruited Sandra Harding out of his experimental, crazy university that he started in New York, which was so nuts that it only lasted a few years. It was even too crazy for New York. You should look into that one sometime if you haven't, because it's nuts. And he liked standpoint theory.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. He liked standpoint theory because it was this idea that there is no objective historical timeline of facts and events. It's purely interpretive. It's very postmodernist. You can mold it to fit anything. And the Rockefellers loved that because they were like, this will be a great social engineering tool. And gender studies was created to disseminate standpoint theory. And it even got so far into the STEM fields that one of the head engineers for the Challenger rocket, which exploded, says that standpoint theory was the reason that rocket exploded, because he told them that the weather conditions were not workable for launching a rocket. He said, you can't do it. The math doesn't work. If you do this, we're going to have a catastrophe. And they said, well, we've already planned it. We've already promoted it. And, the standpoint theory folks said, well, who are you to tell us the math won't work, basically. And he said that he was traumatized by having to watch this. He knew upon launch what was going to happen, and he had to watch this rocket explode. And
it's amazing.
And he fully blames like this standpoint theory stuff for getting
That's
into
a mega
STEM
truth bomb. That is a mega truth bomb. So there you go. I'll give you a point for there. The last question is one that is directly related to my work. Who does Vedmore, that's me by the way, connect Steinem to romantically in the 1970s?
Oh. She had a few that were like crazy that you're like,
long one, 1973 to 1983, where she said openly as well in the magazine, this is my partner. We've been together for a long time, so you should stop talking about me behind my back, you bastards. That's the gist of it.
I feel like I'm going to get this wrong, but is it Ted Turner?
No, it's Stanley Pottinger, of course. It's the man, John.
You know what? I think I was thinking of Jane Fonda.
Yeah. Well, he was sniffing around in all of those groups with J. Stanley Pottinger. He was a naughty boy. Okay, an extra but you can give me some guys that she was romantically. Who was she romantically involved with after J. Stanley Pottinger? I'll give you a point if you can tell me. He was a very rich man.
Was it another? It was like a more conservative guy too, wasn't he? I feel like it was somebody you wouldn't expect.
I can't remember his name myself, so I'm not going to be able to give you that point unless you say it.
we should Google it, because I know that it's another one that I know I've heard it, but it kind of went in and through my brain and didn't stick. But I believe she was with like some pretty powerful like right-wing guys.
Yeah, so shall I tell you? It was Mort Zuckerman, of course, was the next one. Afterwards. Excellent. Okay.
I have one more truth bomb for you on Gloria.
Go on then.
Okay.
That's what we want. One last
truth bomb for Gloria. So Gloria Steinem wrote in her memoirs as well that her mother and grandmother were both theosophists.
Oh, dirty rotten theosophists.
Which fits right in with my, my book about how theosophy was like a big part of feminism. So a lot of people don't know that one.
Totally. Excellent round. You did very well. You get a bonus point for the end of that too. And that was very good indeed. Dana, it's your round now on the specialist subject. I'm going to ask you 18 general knowledge questions generated by honest and truthful AI. Remember, it's AI who chooses this official narrative as on the process church of the final judgment. Of course, you may sense some outrageous bullshit, and you can earn extra points by setting the story straight, adding a truth bomb or two along the way, and I'll be the judge, if anything, what your truth bombs are worth. Are you ready to play?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Good. Ticking hound. Right, Dana, your specialist subject round, 18 questions, process church of the final judgment. First question. Who were the two founders of the process church?
Marianne McLean and Robert Moore.
Ooh. Is there another name for Robert Moore?
There is Robert de Grimston.
Okay, good. Okay, you get a point there. You want to add a truth bomb about any of this at any time? Just say truth bomb.
Okay.
Now,
wait, did the AI say that it was Robert de Grimston and Marianne McLean?
Yeah, you were correct. Yeah.
That's dirty. That's a dirty move, AI. I don't like that. Okay.
Really? Okay, excellent. I like that you don't like. Why don't you like it? Do you want to add in the truth bomb to why you don't like it?
Okay, truth bomb, I don't like it because Robert's real last name is Moore. His sister is the goddaughter of Lady Wachter de Grimston. So he was like knighted into the family, and he was married before he met Marianne. But the story is that like Marianne honeypotted him with, her magical,
Vagina?
her magical meow meow, and convinced him that Day Grimston was more spoopy. That's how the story goes. That's what they tell people, but that's not true.
That is definitely worth a point, though. Definitely worth a point. So yeah, you get the question right, and you get an extra point. Listen, anything like that, there's wild. What organization were the founders originally part of before creating the Process Church?
Scientology.
It's the Church of Scientology. Who are they? So have you got any truth bombs on their path from Scientology or Scientology itself?
Oh, I could sit here all day and wax poetic. Well, I'm not going to do that to y'all.
No, just one. Just add in one truth bomb.
According to Immigration Services, Robert de Grimston may have been L. Ron Hubbard's right-hand man.
Oh, that's a truth bomb there. Excellent. Okay. In which city was the Process Church first established?
London.
Oh, correct. Okay. Remember, add a truth bomb anytime. Worth it. Your opponent will be relentless. What was the name of the short-lived group founded by McLean and de Grimstone before the Process Church?
Compulsions Analysis.
Oh my God! Yeah. Compulsion. Can you tell us anything about
Truth bomb?
Yeah, go on.
Technically, Compulsions Analysis never existed. There's no proof of it on paper. The name of the company was RMS and MS de Grimston Limited, which then turned into an offshore company in the Bahamas called Dubleys Limited.
Wow. Okay, that's a super truth bomb. Excellent. We love it. That is amazing. That's Compulsions Analysis. That's a catchy name, though. You can see. Okay. Ooh, this is a spicy one. Which four entities were central to the Process Church's cosmology? Now, I'll accept any two for a point, but all of them will get you full points. So you'll get 2 points.
Okay, so Satan, Lucifer, Jesus, and Jehovah.
Ooh, yes, indeed. Jehovah, Lucifer, Satan, and Christ. Send shivers down your spine. You get 2 points there. Any truth bombs on that? You can if you want.
Not yet.
Okay. What biblical verse did Robert de Grimstone cite to support the idea of reconciling opposites?
What biblical verse? Oh, I know it's love thine enemy, but I don't know the book, chapter, or verse number, dang it. I know it's love thine enemy, though.
Yeah, I will accept you having a point for love your enemies or love thy enemy. What book do you think it might be if you were to choose one of the four? Hone your biblical skills. Believe in yourself.
This is
Luke.
embarrassing, right? I should know it.
Luke's also a gospel, so okay. I believe in you, Luke. Use the power of the Force.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say Luke since you keep saying Luke.
Oh no,
and I know it's not right.
No,
I know it's not right.
You should have mistrusted me. I was off on my own. Yeah, no, Matthew 5:44. Love your enemies. That's what he said. Okay, next one. In which part of Mexico did the Process Church establish a commune after leaving London?
Stool.
Oh, wow, Stuhl. It is true. How do you spell Stuhl?
XTUL.
Is that silly? I think that's silly.
It's very silly.
I can see why wars would happen. It's true. Indeed, in the Yucatan Peninsula. Have you got anything about that period there for a truth bomb?
Yes. Depending on where you look, the process says that they were beating themselves in huts and they were finding Satan or Satan was finding them. But according to the Church of Scientology, they were doing paramilitary training.
Okay, right. Well, that's pretty serious. Someone needs to get told off, I think. I think that's an excellent truth bomb. Thank you. But I really do think there needs to be some sort of something happen here. Maybe we should just call the police. Do you know that this has been happening and going on for this amount of time? I'm just amazed. Yeah, it's called stool. No, I'll have to spell it for you. Okay. What U.S. city became a significant base for the Process Church in the late 1960s?
New Orleans?
Oh, wow, yeah. New Orleans was the base for anything shady in the 1960s, wasn't it?
Yes, Truth Bomb. They were incorporated by Thomas Jude Baumler, Wandering Bishop, and the same guy that was involved in Jim Garrison's JFK investigation.
Oh, the one that John Candy plays. Is it John Candy in JFK? Yeah, brother. I'm just helping you out. That guy.
I haven't seen that movie, but that's kind of what he looks like. So it's probably him.
What was his name? Okay, what was his name? I wish I could remember his name. That's gonna annoy me forever. I might have to just sneakily look it up as I ask you the next. Oh, have you got any truth bombs about New Orleans and that?
Besides that truth bomb I just gave you? Oh, okay. Here's another truth bomb, even though it's completely out of the timeline. The documents that they filed in New Orleans with Tommy Jude Baumler are completely different from any other incorporation documents of theirs. They're written in sort of like a secret society, Vatican type language, and allegedly, when any of the founders die, they all have to come together from the four corners of the Americas and meet in New Orleans and do some type of ritual. And according to some living processians, when Marianne de Grimston died, that was when they were there during Katrina, stepping over humans who were dying to save the animals.
Wow. Wow. There you go. But we all know that they love animals. We all know that they love animals. That is a mega truth bomb. The answer that I did, the answer to the riddle that was in my head was, of course, Dean Andrews, who was the guy in JFK. I'm not sure if that's the guy who you meant. Okay, right. Let's go on to the next one. What was the name of the magazine published by the Process Church?
Just the name of the magazine?
Yeah, it's really simple.
Well, there's the Process Scene. And then...
Go on.
So they had their first publications, which was love. They had sex, they had fear, and they had death. Then they had the Process Scenes. And then they turned in the Foundation.
This is just because this is so simple that it makes it hard. It was the answer AI gave was Process Magazine, just Process Magazine. So unfortunately, I won't give it to you. But you did give me another 4, so you can have that as a truth bomb just by saying truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
Hey, well done. That's a point. Then okay, next one. Who was expelled from the Process Church in 1974, leading to a major shift?
Robert de Grimston.
What a bastard. Old Robbie de Grim. Yeah. So do you know why they got him out?
Is this my next question?
Yeah. Was he looking over the toilets or something? You know what I mean?
Okay, so if I'm going with the AI reasoning, it was...
No, AI hasn't told me anything about it. I'm just asking for the real...
Oh, you're asking for the actual reason?
Yeah.
Why they left?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe that is what happened. There's no evidence to support that.
Hey, that sounds like a truth bomb.
It is a truth bomb. That's why these people don't like me, because I don't endorse that narrative. That's their hard line, is 1974 is when the process went bye-bye.
Yeah, it didn't go bye-bye, did it? It didn't go bye-bye at all. Excellent. Okay. What was the new name Mary Ann McLean gave the group after de Grimston's departure?
So the Foundation Faith of the Millennium, or the Foundation Church of the Millennium, or the Foundation Faith of God, or the Foundation Church of God?
No, the Foundation Church of Millennium. Now, it's not normal that you can give 4 answers and get a point, but I will give a point on this occasion because it was definitely one of those answers. And by the sounds of it, these guys just mix and match whatever. You said the right one, though. Okay. Who wrote the book Love, Sex, Fear, Death, the inside story of the Process Church of the Final Judgement?
Timothy Wiley.
Yes, Timothy Wiley. How many L's are in Wiley? Is it really 2 L's in Wiley?
Yes.
We would pronounce that in Wales. Wiley.
Oh, really?
I'm going to say that. No, probably will he. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Completely was Timothy Wiley or Willie. Which industrial music band released an album titled The Process, inspired by the group?
Skinny Puppy.
Yes, Skinny Puppy. Have you got any truth bombs about Skinny Puppy?
No.
No.
Nothing off the top of my head.
Why did they decide to do was it positively inspired or negatively inspired?
No, things went very bad for the group after that album was recorded.
Oh, it sounds like you do have a truth bomb about Skinny Puppy.
Just, I don't want to misspeak because.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. You don't want to make enemies of Skinny Puppy.
I have plenty of enemies.
I have plenty of enemies too, but I like musicians. I give them a free pass if they got good music. You can be all be nuts. Right, okay. What was the name of the 2015 documentary about the Process Church?
Sympathy for the Devil.
Yes. It was a little bit more. It was, yeah, I will give you a point for that, but there's a little bit more. Sympathy for the devil, colon.
I wonder what. When I look at it, when I watch it on the way back, that's what it's titled.
Okay. It's called officially Sympathy for the Devil, the true story of the Process Church of the Final Judgment. But
It's always the true story, right? The untold story.
Yeah, it's always a true story. Okay, you get a point for that. You get a point. Okay, we've got 4 questions left. I think you're doing quite well in this round. I'd like to see more truth bombs come up near the end here. I'm into truth bombs. I will be encouraging your opponent to give me truth bombs in the same way. So here we go. What 2 substances were permitted for use among Process Church members despite strict rules on drugs and alcohol?
Cigarettes.
Okay, I'll accept that. But what was the component? They
Nicotine.
Me... Yes, nice. Okay, I like it. Yeah.
Caffeine.
Yes, that's all I needed. Yes. You get the point there. What type? Why is this even written down? Why is this important? Tell me why this is important.
Truth bomb. Because Hubbard loved to smoke cigarettes, so that was allowed, even though in Scientology, you're not supposed to do any drugs or anything, but, cigarettes are allowed, which doesn't really make sense.
As long as you're wearing your sailor's hat, you can
correct.
smoke a cigarette.
And you're holding onto the cans, yeah. And there are multiple reports, witness reports, court records specifically from the UK that the process is heavily involved in drug use, including LSD, peyote, mescaline, cocaine, MDA, things of that sort.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. That sounds about right indeed. Okay, excellent. That's a good truth bomb. Okay, so there's 3 questions left. What was Mary Ann McLean's rumored profession before meeting de Grimstone? Rather than Stone. Rumored profession. They said rumored profession.
Being a woman of the night. Being a woman of the night.
Lady of the night. Yes, a high-end prostitute in London.
Truth bomb.
Right. Whoa! Go on, give me a truth bomb. I like it.
Okay. The rumor is that she was married to Sugar Ray Robinson. This was a rumor that was started actually by the Church of Scientology.
I take it.
Yeah. So that was a rumor that was started by the Church of Scientology that has followed up to now since the 60s. The process continues to spin that lie. There's a good argument, though, that Mary Ann is involved in the Profumo affair.
Oh, that makes me very excited. And I'll keep my eye out for her as I delve into the Profumo affair more and more. People who are listening at home, listen, they know I love the Black Hand, like in the Black Hand, looking at all of that, the run up to it. And I have someone I'm working with who's amazing. They getting through lots of research on it. And Jimmy Savile was also on doing exchanges during this time, and it's quite amazing. There's so many different terrible, awful stories to be had. Anyway, okay, right.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, all right then.
Okay, so Jimmy Savile was featured on the process's sex issue.
Oh my God, though. That is terrible. That's like, oh wow.
And the process also had access to children's wards at hospitals.
Oh, we're going to get some crossover here. This is what I'm talking about. We're always kind of skirting along. You're investigating these guys who are kind of mingling in the same crowds, and they switch over and cross over here and there. These little dirty rotters. Okay, right. Which infamous criminal was rumored to have been influenced by or involved with the Process Church?
Is it only giving me one choice?
Yeah.
Charles Manson.
Yeah. I said you're giving you one choice and you're going to get No, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if you're the type of girl who's got any truth bombs to give about Charles Manson.
Truth bomb on truth bomb on truth bomb. Charles Manson, not the only one. David Berkowitz as well. There's also somewhat of an argument for Wayne Williams, hence me pointing out that he had a German Shepherd. As far as Charles Manson, though, Charles Manson was a Scientologist and also a Processian. Check out my podcast. It's all I've been talking about for the past month and a half.
That's good, and it'll be down there in the description too. Excellent. Okay. Which serial killer, and this is the last question now. That was good. You got a truth bomb there and the correct answer. Which serial killer claimed the Process Church influenced his crimes in a 1997 interview?
David Berkowitz.
Oh, me, oh my. Yes, David Berkowitz. Go on. You want to say, I can see you want to say something. I reckon you want to say something. Why don't you just say truth bomb and then say a selection of words?
Oh, there's just... Okay, truth bomb. David Berkowitz, now, as of today, to Mike Caparelli, PhD, who wrote the Monster in the Mirror, which is the most recent book to come out about David Berkowitz. The narrative is spun to such that David claims he committed all of the crimes. This is not true. David still, he was a lookout, but he confessed to, I think, 2 or 3 of the shootings and 1 of the stabbings. He was a lookout for the remainder. There's a lot of witness testimony and police reports that support that the process was directly involved in the Son of Sam crimes and the Church of Scientology.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was kind of like an extension of a Manson-like cult, really. Wow. Okay, excellent. You get a truth bomb in there. You get it correct. That is a really, really a brilliant round there. Do you want to just finish it off and give that one final truth bomb about the whole of the Process Church, why you do what you do, and why it's so important for people to know what has gone on, because loads of people don't know any of this information.
I feel like I did terrible. Okay.
You didn't do terrible.
A final truth bomb. Like
anything about the Process Church.
Okay.
Like as a whole, and
you will hear about the Process Church of the Final Judgement, aka Best Friends Animal Society, one of the largest non-profit, no-kill, quote-unquote, animal rescues in the United States. Even though they are global, they like to deny that they reach outside of U.S. lines. You will see them pushed on Netflix. You will see them pushed on Hulu. They are discussed in documentaries about Charles Manson, about the Son of Sam. They vehemently deny their involvement with these groups. And you have to ask yourself, why do they protest this much this many decades later? It's been over half a century since the Manson crimes occurred. It's because they were directly involved. There is a good possibility that they ordered the Manson crimes specifically. The other thing that people need to keep in mind in regards to this is a question I like to ask people, because I have evidence that I have shown. Why is the Church of Scientology still interested in the Charles Manson crimes over half a century later? It's because the process is part of their umbrella, so to speak, and so is Best Friends Animal Society, and also the Satanic Temple. They have an e-meter, which is Scientology's little cans that they like to use. Why do they have that there, and why did the head of the Satanic Temple say that their Baphomet statue is based off of process theology? It's because they're a part of the process.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I know you don't think you did well in that round, but you really did well. That was an excellent final truth bomb. And I think you've done yourself proud on both your specialist subject rounds. So brilliant job.
Thank you.
Okay, and in that round, we had specialist subject round where Rachel scored 9 points, 12 truth bombs, 0 corruption points, 1 bonus points, no laughter points, getting a 22. Is that correct? And the specialist subject round for Dana was it was brutal. Dana got 18 plus, she got 14 truth bombs, 18 on her specialist subject round. That's unbelievable. 1 bonus point and 1 laughter point. She got 34 in total. The scores after 3 rounds. Dana's on 67. Rachel's on 55. That is brutal round. Okay, Rachel, do you think that one day soon AI will make Gloria Steinem into a feminist death bot that will use the breakdown of traditional relationships to fuel her dystopian matriarchy?
Probably. I think there was like a Futurama episode that was kind of like that.
Yeah. Was it actually Gloria? I wouldn't be surprised if it was a guest starring Gloria Deathbot Steinem. It was definitely, I suppose there was Barbara Streisand bot. So okay, Dana, maybe you can answer this question for an extra point as well. Did L. Ron Hubbard really live in a cupboard?
No.
Yeah, that is the right answer. It was actually a closet. So there you go. He was in the closet the whole time. Dana, if you simply say I do, then I'll enter the rest of the question later and give you an extra point. Are you going to say that, or are you going to?
I do.
Oh, brilliant. Everybody should celebrate. Okay. I asked AI to make some of the most famous people into New World Order Rainbow Elvises. And it's up to our contestants to buzz in first. So you have to say truth bomb for a chance to get it right. You've got to get, this is quick fire round. There's no actual truth bombs in this. All you've got to do is work out who it is. So get ready to play. Here we go. Get ready to say truth bomb as soon as you see it.
Truth bomb.
Okay, Rachel, go on.
It looks like Frank Zappa.
It is definitely Rainbow Zappa. It's true. There may be a you remember this round when I watched it. You should just try and say truth bomb nearly straight away, whether you know it or not, because you'll only recognize after a bit. Here you go.
Truth bomb.
Oh, Dana gets there first. Dana,
Gloria
go on.
Steinem.
Oh yeah, stole the Steinem one off you. That is for sure. Brutal.
I like her pompadour. It's pretty good.
Yeah. There's a lot of stylish people in this one. Okay, get ready. First one to say truth bomb. Here we go.
Truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
Dana, you're gonna have to be quicker than that, Rachel.
Charles
Dana's
Manson.
a killer. Charles Manson, indeed, someone you know very well.
It sounds like we're saying it at the same time on my end, so there's probably just a delay.
I've heard this one before on the previous show. I don't believe it. Okay, next one. Get ready.
Truth bomb.
Oh, go on.
Okay, I did it preemptively to see if I could do it faster, and now I don't know who it is.
Do you want to give it a guess?
I have no idea who that is.
Dana will definitely know who this is, I reckon.
Definitely, that's a bold claim. I'm gonna just guess shot in the dark, Louis C.K.
No, this is actually an AI rendition of. Go on, what are you going to say, Rachel?
It kind of looks like L. Ron Hubbard if you made him like blonde Elvis.
I'll accept the point. I'm going to give you the point there. Yeah, it is supposed to be L. Ron Hubbard, but again, this is AI. You have to accept.
Yeah.
I like the fact that
I don't think blonde when I think of
L.
him.
Ron Hubbard. Yeah, okay. Keep for truth bomb. Remember to say truth bomb. Get ready, people. Here we go.
Truth bomb.
Yeah, Rachel.
That's Yoko. Oh no.
Oh, it's Yoko. Oh no. Oh no. Yes, indeed. Okay, get ready to say truth bomb here.
Truth bomb.
Yeah, go on, Rachel.
That is the guy that definitely didn't hang himself. That is Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Yeah, his old Jeffrey Elvis.
They really
He's
gave him a
looking
lot
good.
of extra chin in the
Yeah,
AI.
the AI. It's hard to get a good picture of Jeffrey Epstein on AI, to be honest. You got to do it hundreds of times. They keep giving you some random guy in a grey suit. Okay, next one. Come on, this is quick fire. Get ready. Get ready to say truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
Ah, Dana was straight in there. Go on.
Musk.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's old musky boy.
His eyes are going
more.
different directions.
Yeah, so AI's got it quite accurate. That is how he looks normally. One more here. Here we go.
Truth bomb.
Oh, Dana again. No lag
RFK
there.
Jr.
Yeah, it is RFK Jr. He's looking good, though, in that one. He's looking good. Okay. Like free Dr. Knows, Dana, Rachel, and I are always desperate to uncover any sneaky secret agents so we can bathe them in vats of sulfuric acid, kill them with shark-mounted lasers, or feed them to our highly trained crocodiles. Question is, can we tell who's willing to be experimented on by crazed scientists? So, people, I asked AI to give me some famous people who opposed the the jabs, and those who supported the previously untried and tested interventions. Our contestants will see slides featuring 6 famous faces, and all you have to do is pick people that you think didn't support the books. Our contestants will take turns to make their choices, and the points will increase with every correct guess. However, if any contestant chooses someone who supported the injections, and the points will go to their opponents. Let's play. Here comes the Boop Brigade. Okay, here we go. This is a very exciting round. I'm looking forward to this. So this is Dana up first on this slide. So you get to choose someone you think was the AI thinks was against the old books. Now this is very freaky, I have to tell you, because what AI considers to be an anti-vaxxer is just like, you know, madness. But still, I think you can see a couple of obvious ones there. Dana, do you want to take a guess?
Kanye,
yes. Kanye West, an obvious one. So it's 1 point goes across to you, Rachel. If you get someone who didn't support them, was pro-vax, and then the point goes to Dana.
I guess I'll guess.
I can't tell you. It's John Voight, Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I know who they all are. Okay, I'll guess John Voight.
John Voight, indeed, John Voight. So he's on 2 points now. Goes across to Dana. So now you're on a 50-50. It's Jessica Biel, Rob Lowe, Mariah Carey, and her brother Jim Carrey.
I'm gonna go with Jim Carrey.
Yes, Jim Carrey. So okay, so here we go. Rachel, you've got only one left. If you guess it correctly, you get 4 points.
So one of the 3 left was against it, didn't support it?
Yeah, okay. Was against it.
I'm going to guess Rob Lowe.
Okay, I'm afraid Dana gets the 3 points there. That's brutal. That's brutal because she's already so far in the lead, but Rob Lowe was for it. Okay, next board. Here we go. We have Novak Djokovic and Nicki Minaj. We got Juliette Lewis. We have Alicia Silverstone, Cardi B, and Steve Martin. Starting off with Rachel this time.
Nicki Minaj, surprisingly.
Yes, Nicki Minaj was against the books. Have you got anything here, Dana?
Oh, dang, this one's tough. How do you say her last name? The Jovovich?
Oh, no, that's Novak. It's the tennis player in the center, the guy, Novak Djokovic.
No, her in the top right corner.
Oh, in the top right corner, that's Juliette Lewis.
Thank you. All right, got that wrong. Juliette Lewis.
Yes, you're correct. She. Over to you, Rachel.
The soccer player guy.
Yeah, well, he's a tennis player.
Okay, tennis player.
Yeah, Novak Djokovic. You are quite correct. Now this is where it gets hard. Going over to you, Dana. You've got to pick out of 3 left. You got Cardi B. You got Alicia Silverstone. You got Steve Martin. Who was against it?
I'm gonna go with Cardi B.
I'm afraid Rachel gets the 3 points there. Then it goes across. Okay, it was, of course, Steve Martin and Cardi B were for it. Alicia Silverstone was against it, and Nicki Minaj and all of the rest. Right, okay, next one. Here we go. Let's see. This is a harder one. So this is over to you, Dana, is it? Or Rachel first?
I think it's me.
Yeah, it's Dana.
Against? That's who I'm choosing, right? Who was against it?
Yeah.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. Yeah, of course, Randy Quaid's against it. Legend status. Okay, there's some tricky ones in this one. Come on, Rachel. Can you guess another?
I'll go with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes, of course. And now it gets super hard. I promise you, Dana. Across to you.
Oh, man. Damn, this is really hard.
This is super hard.
I'm gonna go with Samuel. I'm gonna go with Samuel Jackson.
Oh, I'm afraid no. Rachel gets the 2 points. Samuel Jackson was pro Boop Boop along with Alice Cooper. Apparently, AI says Matthew McConaughey, who did a whole White House speech about how we should do all of this and whatnot, and George Clooney, Mr. Establishment Man himself, the AI considers them anti-vaxxers. So that's crazy. That's a crazy world we live in. And last one, here we go. The last board up now. We got RFK Jr. We got Martha Stewart. We've got Susan Sarandon at the top, and then Dean Cain, Tony Braxton, and Roseanne Barr. Over to you, Rachel. Can you guess?
Yeah, Roseanne.
Yeah, Roseanne's an easy one. Dana.
RFK.
Yeah, he's an easy one. Here we go. Rachel, back to you.
I think the other one is Dean Cain.
Oh, you are correct. So now it's on 3 points, Dana.
I'm gonna go with Tony Braxton.
Oh, she gets 4 points. Dana's score is going to be crazy on this in this game. Excellent. Okay, that was an interesting round. So, Rachel, if you saw Houdini make an elephant disappear, would you explain to him that they're a keystone species and he threatens an entire ecosystem by doing so?
No.
No, okay. I thought it would be something like that. Dana, if you had to choose between either marrying Alex Jones, Anderson Cooper, or me, what color gown would you wear to our wedding?
Whatever color you'd like.
Okay, excellent. Hallelujah. Praise be to God. Let's play the quick fire round. There you go, ladies. We've come to the end of the show. Everything could change in the quick fire round, though there is a big gap in the points there. And with the final
I'm losing hard.
You're losing hard. Don't worry.
Could
don't
all
worry.
change. Could all change.
It could all change. Rachel, you have 90 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know the answers, and you can just say pass, the round is over when you hear this sound.
So we penetrate the cabinets.
Are you ready to rumble?
Okay, so if I know it, I just say the answer, and if I don't know it, I say pass.
Yes, that's it. As
Okay.
many as
Is
you
there
can.
a penalty for guessing wrong?
No, not at all. Just any answer, any pass, anything will do. Let's go. What was the CIA Stargate project focused on?
Like aliens.
Oh, it's psychic espionage. Who authored Women, Race, and Class?
What's that?
Who authored Women, Race, and Class?
Who offered women race and class?
Yeah, a book. You can't just say pass.
Pass.
Okay. What experiment tested plutonium on humans?
Pass.
The Manhattan Project. What feminist concept did Audre Lorde emphasize?
I don't know. Pass.
Intersectional identity. What U.S. study infected mental patients with malaria? That's a hard one.
It's not the Tuskegee experiment. I don't know. Pass.
Okay, that's the Stateville experiment. Who led the suffrage movement with Susan B. Anthony?
Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Yes, correct. What experiment tested LSD on soldiers?
On soldiers?
Yeah.
Was that Midnight Climax?
It says
That was
MK
just
Ultra trials.
Okay.
What cult leader died in the 1993 siege?
The guy from Waco.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Pass.
David Koresh. What was the witchcraft book in
That we
1940?
penetrate the cabinets.
I'll start so I finish. What was a witchcraft book in 1486?
The Hammer of the Witch.
No. Well, I don't know if that's what it actually means. I suppose that might be Malleus
Maleficarum.
Yeah, that is the Hammer of the Witch. That means, does it?
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
accept it. I'll accept it as an answer for sure. Okay, Dana, you have 90 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know the answers, just say pass. The round is over when you hear the sound.
That we penetrate the cabinets.
Are you ready to rumble?
Let's do it.
What was the most common witchcraft punishment in Europe?
Burning.
Yes, correct. What feminist movement pushed the 19th Amendment?
Pass.
Suffrage. Okay. What was the People's Temple base called?
Oh, well, I can't think of it. Pass.
Jonestown.
Oh,
what
damn.
is Scientology's e-meter used for?
Auditing.
Measuring emotions. I'm afraid I want something more specific. What was Manson's first murder victim?
Oh God.
It wasn't God. I can tell you that.
Pass.
Okay. When did what was Scientology's fair game policy?
Attack.
What is?
Attack, defeat, destroy.
Yeah, indeed. What was the NSA's prison program?
Oh God. Pass.
Data collection. What was the U.S. Public Health Service STD study?
Tuskegee experiment.
Correct. Okay. Who was Manson's attempted assassin?
That we penetrate the cabinets.
Dang.
No, you can still. It started. You can still
Squeaky.
answer.
Squeaky Fromm?
No, I didn't know there was any such thing person as Squeaky. It was Lynette Frome. Oh, what was Squeaky actually Lynette Frome?
Yes, that's her name. Squeaky Fromm.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, in that case, you get it correct. Yes, it was
Okay.
Lynette Frome. I heard the last bit. Excellent. Okay, that was good. Okay, that was brutal. I have to say that was brutal. We still do the last, and the last part of this is always the same. You can always earn 3 extra points for giving one final truth bomb. I'm going to start with Dana because she's so far in the lead at the moment. I got to tell you, the scores currently, if I'm correct, let my producer know. Am I correct here in believing that Rachel has 67, which is one of the best scores so far, and Dana looks like she may actually have 82. I think that's correct. Yeah, 67 to 82. 82 is a brutal score. Completely brutal. That's gonna cause trouble. Okay, right. So you got one final truth bomb. This is going to be important at the end of it because, of course, there is 82 is definitely the top score ever. I'm being told 100%. So at 67 is a massive score as well. So this one last truth bomb. for 3 points, I'm going to go across first to Dana, and only one person can win this. Dana, you're doing amazing. Give me one final truth bomb that you think could be worth a good 3 points. Anything at all. It can be about anything at all.
One final truth bomb.
And I'll ask the same of Rachel.
Even if I touched on it before?
Yeah. Go for it. Expand whatever you like. This is what it's for.
Okay. Scientology's fair game practice did not cease. It just ceased from publication. They still use it actively. This is used for the process, for best friends, for the Satanic Temple, and also has infiltrated the ex-Scientology movement online. This is why you will see the failed lawsuits from celebrities, in particular one Miss Leah Remini, who is constantly trying to sue David Miscavige and Scientology, and these things go nowhere. These people are anti-Miscavige. They are not anti-Hubbard or anti-Scientology. They just don't like David. So I think that people should maybe open up their eyes and stop falling for the cult of personality, because that's all it is now.
Yeah, indeed. That's a mistake that's made over and over again. Okay, gonna go across now. Boom. Rachel, you came up against a lady who has got a lot of knowledge, especially on her specialist subjects, but you did do quite well. You're probably on top 5 of the scoreboard out of 20 contestants so far. You can definitely get top 3 to 5 by answering this the best and beating Dana here. So what would your final truth bomb be?
I think my final truth bomb would be, since this is just so impactful, that a lot of the propaganda that was so successful in getting women to support abortion was completely fabricated. So Margaret Sanger she wrote a book where she claimed to have received thousands of letters from women all over the country, and she claimed that in these letters, the women writing her did not know how babies were made, mysteriously did not understand how to stop becoming pregnant. She said that some of them were only like 23 years old and were already on like their 7th baby, which doesn't even make sense. And used this propaganda to fearmonger women all over the United States into supporting not only Planned Parenthood and abortion, but also birth control. She also used a lot of overpopulation propaganda. And by this point, when Margaret Sanger is being paid by the Rockefellers to disseminate this propaganda, the birth rate had already become half what it was in the prior century. So we were already headed towards population decline because of the Industrial Revolution. However, it didn't stop them from telling everybody there were going to be too many mouths to feed and we were all going to starve if we didn't convince women to stop having babies. When I contacted the Sanger Papers Project, which has everything Margaret Sanger has ever done, if she blew her nose in a Kleenex, they have it. If she wiped her mouth on a napkin, they've got it preserved. Like everything this woman ever did, they have. And I asked if I could have access to these supposed thousands of letters from all these women who were just, overbirthing and couldn't figure out how to prevent it. And they contacted me back and told me that they did not have the letters, and they had 3. Out of the thousands, they had 3 of these letters. And I asked what happened to the other thousands, and they said, we think perhaps that she sent some of them to abortion doctors at her clinics to, for morale purposes, and that the rest were lost to time.
Whoa!
So
Lost to time.
basically, this whole book she wrote, fear-mongering women about the horrors of childbirth and how we needed to have a birth control and abortion, was all giant fraud. She made it up. Though I don't believe those letters ever existed. There would be at least some trace of them. There would be more than 3. And just to confirm, I asked my grandmother, who's now 99 years old, if she and her mother knew how babies were made, I explained this to her and she said, that's absurd. Of course we knew. And she said, in fact, when my mother had me, because she was the youngest, she said they told her she had a really rough time in birth with me, so to probably not have any more. And she said, of course my parents knew how to do that. And they didn't use, birth control. They were able to just naturally do that. So I just would like for people to know that Margaret Sanger was a giant fraud. She didn't lie just about that. She told many other lies. Her mother, people like to say her mother died from having too many children. Not true. She died from tuberculosis like just about everyone around that time. So that was a lie. And then also the doctors from Planned Parenthood, the original crop of them, several came out years later and said that they were told to lie about things like back alley abortions and to make up fake statistics for the sake of the propaganda and for the sake of getting the American public to accept abortion clinics. So all of that is lies.
Yeah, that is an awesome truth bomb to end it up. Well, you've done well
the point.
today.
Can I vote that she gets the point? That she gets the ending points? Because I agree with all of that. So yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
So it's already down. Rachel gets 70. You're definitely in the top 5 at the moment. Dana gets 82. That is an epic round. Well done. Well done to you. Well done. I'm pretty positive the people who are watching are also clapping. Don't worry, there's only about 20 or 30 of them watching live on YouTube. It's only a small little group. There's a lot more on X, and they don't clap on X. Anyway, jointly, the best scores ever this evening is, that's true enough, is what is being said down there on the screen. Thank you both for being part of that. You do understand that there will be future matches too, to go against other people who are high level, know what they're doing, and all of the opportunity to put this right. Rachel, you've got to put this right. You're gonna have to put this
I do.
right.
I need a redemption round.
And Dana's gonna have to retain her crown. So first, over to the winner, the victor. Dana, can you tell people where's best to find you?
Yes, you can find me at RottingJewels or Dana DooDah on X.
I like Dana DooDah. It makes me smile. And Rachel, where can people find you and where can people buy your book?
Yeah, you can buy my book. It looks like this. It's called Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation. The Kindle version just got put back up today. Quick story about that. Wow. It got taken down because a bunch of angry feminists, in an effort to blacklist me, reported my Kindle as not being my own intellectual property. And when such a charge is made, you then have to prove that it is. And that's a bit of a process. I had to get a lawyer, but I did that. And then it was a bit of a process technically to actually get it back in the Kindle store. So it is finally back in there. So all the people who are constantly asking me why they can't buy the Kindle, that's why. Eat shit, you bitter hags. I win, you lose. So go buy my Kindle version of my book, and then you can follow me on X at Rach4Patriarchy.
Excellent. Thank you to everybody at home who has been watching. Thank you for joining us today. I've been Johnny Vedmore, and you've been watching Truth Bomb. Bye. Hello. Thank you for watching that show. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate having your time and your attention just for a little bit. To make content like this, I need your help. I am constantly working hard to produce live shows, podcasts, truth bombs, and long-form investigative articles which expose a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. Continue doing that. I need your support. You can either support me via Patreon by becoming a patron, where you'll get shows like Truth Bomb early. You could support me by dropping me something on Buy Me a Coffee or on Ko-Fi. And I really do appreciate your support. Go to newspaste.com for more, and thank you again.
Young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.